Hey everybody, here to vlog about cutting it in the ATL. Um, this episode was called Art of War, so let's just get right into it. Um, it starts off with Beauty. She's visiting Maya um, at her house, and she bought her wine or whatever to apologize for the whole situation with sending the spy to her store or whatever. And she basically admitted that it was childish for her to do that or whatever, and she didn't mean to do it with like any malicious intent or anything. So Maya is like, whatever, all will be forgiven. I just want you to take responsibility for it and just be the bigger person or whatever. I guess when it came to like Deidre and Mashia or whatever. So, Beauty is like, well, because Maya's like, you can't be all in your feelings with these situations or whatever. You own a salon and you deal with people every day, so you can't, just fly off the handle or get in your feelings when stuff doesn't go your way or people don't like you or whatever. And I mean, I honestly understand and get where Maya is coming from. So, Beauty's like, I'm working on it. I'm still, I'm human and I'm trying to progress. So I'm working on it. And I mean, I thought it was really good advice that Maya gave her. So now we get to Mushia, and she's at the damn salon, and Beauty's client from the party, Desiree, um she comes and she visits Mushia, and they continue talking about Desiree's natural hair journey, and Mushia's looking at her natural hair and telling her um what she can do. And she said, I think she said her edges or something like that. Something was like breaking off. Her edges were weak. So she's like, I'm loving the fact that so many women are starting to embrace their natural curls. So, she's telling Desiree what she can do to take care of her hair naturally. And basically, she told her, well, I'm gonna damn you at the damn salon. So, I mean, I thought that was cool. So, all the ladies get to this event that was going on at an art gallery that I think Maya invited them to. So, Maya and LaKenya are the first ones there, and they're getting drinks. And Desiree comes in, and she says hi to the ladies or whatever. And I know Beauty was there, and Beauty saw her hair and was like, "Well, what did you get done to it or whatever?" And she says that she went to get her hair done by Moshia, and Beauty sees the hair, and she's basically shading it or whatever, saying that, oh, well, if your hair is naturally straight, it's not going to look right, curly with the hair that you have or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, it is, because it's like two different textures right now. You have to wait until, if you have permed hair and you trying to transition to natural, you have to let the perm come out of your hair before you can just jump into a natural hairdo. That's how it works, and it takes a little while for the perm to come out. Some people it takes longer, some people it doesn't. But you have to wait till the perm is all the way out of your hair completely if you want to put like if you want it to be natural and look, I mean, most girls who have natural hair, they don't really get they don't really do like the whole weave and then leave the top out, because your hair is like curly and it shrinks or whatever, so it'll look weird. That's why a lot of girls get their hair braided completely, stuff like that. So I mean, I like the look that Mushia was going for Desiree with the hair, but I didn't really like that the top part of her hair was left out and the rest, like, they could have figured something out with that. They could have, what they could have did, they could have put some braids there. Like some, if they wanted to keep this part out, they could have put like braided her hair and had the braid. You had the braids cover the weave. Like people do that all the time too. So Moshia could have did that. I didn't really like Desiree's hair. I didn't really like it because it didn't blend. And Beauty and LaKenya was basically saying what I was thinking. I hate a person. I hate a girl who gets weave and it doesn't blend in with her hair. That's like a pet peeve of mine. And I'm like, I agree. So, like I said, Beauty, she came in, she greeted the ladies, and she shaded Mushia's hairstyle. So Mushia came in and she greeted Desiree and was saying how pretty Desiree looked and whatnot. So naturally, Beauty was in her feelings, like, that's my client. First you snitch on me, now you still my client. Like, what are you trying to do? And I'm like, Beauty, you got way too many feelings. So then, surprisingly, Deidre arrived, and naturally she has something slick to say, like, "Oh, I haven't seen these ladies since the brawl at Boogaloo, and I didn't come here to fight. I didn't come here to argue, but I will drag a chick in my skirt." And I'm like, anyway. So LaKenya greets her and asks her how she doing, and Deidre's like, well, she's not speaking to them naturally because she hasn't spoken to them since that day. So she explains to LaKenya, well, I sent Maya an email and Maya has yet to respond to me. I don't know what that's about. I'm not about to chase her, but I did want to speak to her and apologize or whatever. But if she's not responding to me, then I'm not going to keep on, pressing the issue. So LaKenya goes to Maya and is like, okay, I see you got the email. This would be a perfect opportunity for you ladies to talk and hash it out. And Maya's like, she doesn't really want to deal with it right now because it's not the place nor the time. And she'll deal with Deidre accordingly. So, LaKenya is just trying to be peacemaker. And I mean, I get it. LaKenya feels like she's in the middle of all these beefs. The beef between Deidre and Beauty, the beef between Deidre and Maya, which isn't really a beef. It's just Maya is just upset at the fact that Deidre did what she did to cause the fight to happen, which is understandable. But LaKenya feels like she's in the middle of all the fights and whatnot, and she's trying to, just trying to help, eliminate some of the drama that's that's in these relationships or whatever. So Deidre is sitting up here like, well, I feel like LaKenya is being a flip flopper. She's being messy because she's going back and forth between me and these girls and talking to us and whatnot. Now I'm starting to question her loyalty. And I'm like, first of all, nobody ever said LaKenya is not loyal to you. LaKenya is trying to make peace with y'all so that at least when y'all are in the same room, it's not no petty mess. See, Deidre is a child. She's a child. She's like one of those kids who always throw a tantrum just for attention. Like, Deidre is attention starved and just very negative and nasty, and she doesn't even have to be. But anyway, so they see Deidre because Deidre came with her friend Fran, and they see that she came to they see that she came with Deidre. So Beauty is speaking to Fran and just asking her questions or whatnot, like are you Deidre's client? Are you her friend? Or are you both? And Fran is like, well, I'm both. And Beauty was just like, okay, well, I'm not gonna ask you a bunch of questions because I know your friend will probably have a problem with it or whatever. So she was like, I think she mad that she was mad we was talking to her friend or whatever. So as Deidre was leaving, she said, "Bye, Patricia," not Felicia, but Patricia. So Beauty's like, "I'm so glad you Googled me." So I'm like, really? How mature is that? And how great do you feel about yourself? You sat up here and you found some time to Google Beauty, to be all up in her business, to see what you could find. Just childish. Ugh. So anyway, Beauty and Mushia meet up, and Beauty's like, well, I don't really know how to feel about Mushia telling Maya what I did, but I do know that me and Mushia have one thing in common. We both don't like Deidre. So they both feel like they don't want Deidre in the circle and whatnot. And I mean, I feel the same way. But, Beauty, of course, got in her feelings. It was like, well, I feel betrayed by you. And I just feel like you're heartless and you just don't care. And, Mushia is like, it's not about me being heartless and not caring. It's about me not, withholding my honesty. She said, I'm not, she basically, Mushia was saying that she didn't feel right sitting in Maya's face and being around Maya knowing that this is what Beauty did. And if she didn't say anything about it, she would have been just as shady as Beauty was trying to be. So, I mean, I don't really fault Mushia for saying anything to Maya. And I feel like Mushia, I feel like Mushia wasn't wrong in telling Maya what happened because she let her know. And then Mushia she owned up to it. She told her truth and she was like, well, I told her, what are we going to do about it now? Get over it. That doesn't mean I'm a bad friend to you. That doesn't mean, you know, I'm a terrible person. That just means I'm not going to sit up here and lie in somebody's face. So, they're sitting there and they're discussing the whole Patricia thing. And Mushia was like, yeah, she called you Patricia. She was like, yeah, what's your full name? So Beauty was like, my name is Patricia Beauty Joseph. So Mushia was like, oh, that's PB and J, peanut butter and jelly or whatever. So I mean, I guess she did that to like change the subject or whatever. But I thought it was funny. So basically Mushia is just trying to change the subject, which I don't for her. So Beauty is like, well, I just came to the conclusion that Mushia doesn't care. She doesn't care who she hurts or whatever, or who she betrays or whatever. And I'm like, no, I don't think Mushia is heartless. Mushia just does not have time for the BS. And that whole sending your client to walking weaves was BS. It was stupid. Point blank period. So don't be mad at nobody but yourself, Beauty. So now we get to Deidre. And LaKenya is at Jadoa, and they're visiting. They're not visiting. They're discussing the whole art gallery, scenario. And Deidre's just like, well, I don't like Beauty, and I don't like Mushia, and I just feel like you were messy and going back and forth, you laughing with those ladies or whatever, and I don't like them. And LaKenya's like, I'm not trying to be messy. I was just trying to diffuse the situation and resolve it because there's no reason why none of us can get along. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, she wasn't being, I don't think LaKenya was being messy at all. Being messy would have been her going to each of y'all ladies and, hearing y'all shade each other and running back and forth. When you walk around snitching and adding to the gossip or whatever, that's being messy. LaKenya wasn't being messy. LaKenya was trying to get all the ladies to be nice and cordial to each other. Ain't nowhere in this episode that I see LaKenya be messy. Maybe that's your own warped definition of messy, Deidre, but she wasn't being messy. So, Deidre, no, well, LaKenya is basically like, I'm kind of surprised that this is coming out of Deidre's mouth, but you know what? This doesn't make it any, it doesn't make me feel any more guilty. Like, I feel less guilty about leaving Jadoa, and I'm like, So at some point, she came to her senses, and she wants to leave Jadoa. So, Deidre's just like, she's trying to find out why she really doesn't like Beauty, and all this other stuff, and then talking about Moshia and calling her because she was calling. I think she called Beauty Barney, Moshia, Mufasa, and I forgot what she called Maya, but she's basically like, oh well, Moshia did look like a lion and all this other stuff. And basically, Deidre just put all the blame on the girls saying that they bring her out of character. And it's like, don't nobody bring you out of character. You come to these, before you even got into the fights with Mushia and whatever, all these events that Maya has been inviting you to, you come to them with negative energy, negative attitude, negative, you know, negative insults, all of this stuff you say about them and to them in your confessionals and in person. You bring that there. You bring all of the negative energy. Everybody else there is about money. They about business. You about drama. But you want to make it seem like they're the reason why you act the way you act. Not once did you give any of these ladies a chance. And the only reason why LaKenya is on your side is because you signed LaKenya's checks. You pay her. So it's like, ain't nobody bringing you out of character. You bring this character every episode. So stop. Take some responsibility for your BS, because you are the reason why these girls are arguing, or these girls got a problem. It ain't them. It's you. It's you. I will admit, Beauty was in her feelings with the whole thing with LaKenya, but they squashed that and they're cordial, and you still couldn't be woman enough to apologize. Well, you did apologize, but you still not taking responsibility for your part in that brawl at Boogaloo. Stop, Deidre. Anyway, so Maya is out on a date with Steve Baggs Jr. He's a retired athlete, I think, out in Atlanta. So she said he's been pursuing her via phone and email. So, the date is like a business slash, personal date, and they're the whole time flirting with each other, saying all kinds of like, seductive, like just a bunch of seductive talk. But I mean, I thought it was cute seeing them flirt or whatever. And, Maya just feels like she's single, but she's not happy. And she basically told him she was a doctor's wife for 8 years, and she didn't know that he was, tapping the nurses on the side. So basically, he cheated, and she feels like it was a waste of her time or whatever. But she has her business, she's successful. It's just her love life sucks. So him and her are flirting, and I mean, it was good, and it was nice to see Maya flirting and being more, letting her guard down, and like their chemistry was good. And I mean, I hope him and her get together, because they will make a cute couple. And it seems like he likes her, she likes him, so why not? Why waste time? So now we get to Deidre, and she's at her, I guess you can say her psychic named Hecka. And basically she's saying that she needs clarity on life. And, Hecka basically said, well, there's a lady in your inner circle who has an M initial. Be watchful of her or whatever. So, inner circle is Maya and it's Mushia. And she's like, well, I don't know which M to look out for, but I'll be watchful, because that's what she's telling me. So Hecka then asked about the fight. And, she basically said, well, was there a fight? And, Deidre's like, yeah. And she's like, this is what happened. Basically explaining to her what happened. And Deidre, like I said, putting the blame on Beauty, like she didn't do anything. And Hecka is like, well, whether you believe it or not, or whether you know it or not, you're a part of the problem too. And Deidre's like, no, I'm not. She's like, no, I'm not. Like, these ladies bring this out of me. And she's like, people only do what you allow them to do, basically. And she's like, just, you have to make friends in the industry that you're in, and in life in general. You need people. You work with people. You deal with people on a daily basis from sun up to sundown. So you have to learn how to get your people skills in order. So, she's telling her, put your ego to the side, or nothing will change. Stuff will just get worse. And she's telling Deidre, you're your own most enemy. You're your own worst enemy. So you need to, smarten up and sit down and be cordial with these ladies. So Deidre took that to mean that she's going to try and get the ladies to apologize to her. Apologize to you for what? They did nothing to you. You threw money at Beauty, she reacted. You insult Mushia, Mushia come right back at you. Every action, there's a reaction. Stop trying to play victim. You're not the victim. Clearly, you're the dominant one in all of these arguments, and you just need to stop. You just need to stop. So, eventually she reached out to Mushia and was hoping that they could meet up and go to dinner and discuss what was going on. So, Maya is at the doctor and she's just checking to see about her eggs, her fertility. So, they said that she's 41 years old, and she don't look it. Maya look younger than that. But she's 41 years old, and, she's stressed and she takes anxiety pills due to, you know, heavy stress. So, she basically admitted that when she was married, um, during her marriage, she got pregnant, but she had a miscarriage at 38. So, the whole situation makes her emotional. She does want a child of her own, but she's not sure if she can carry it because, after women are like a certain age, like they say after 35, it gets harder to have kids. So she wants to have a child, but she's not really with the whole single mother thing. She would rather be married, like with, a healthy, stable environment for a child. So she's just trying to figure out her options and check and see if everything is right and intact or whatever. But it was really sad seeing her cry about, the miscarriage and the marriage and everything. I mean, a lot of people do get married and, they expect for it to be their happily ever after. And sometimes reality will hit and that's not the case. So, stuff happens. As long as you pick up and, move on and get better, that's all that matters. So, she's basically checking on her fertility, seeing if everything is okay. So now we get to Mushia and Lou, her husband Lou, and they're discussing Deidre calling her. And Mushia is basically like, well, I'm surprised that she called me. She wants to meet up or whatever. And Lou is basically like, yeah, that was the one that was at our event or whatever. He was like, I was embarrassed for her. Like, she's just an embarrassment. So, Mushia tells her, tells Lou, well, I'm thinking about meeting up with her. I'm not sure. What should I do? And Lou is basically like, I wouldn't meet up with her, but if you feel like you need to, then go ahead. But he said, just make this your last meeting. If it doesn't go well, make it your last meeting. And that's it. You don't have to keep beating a dead horse. So Mushia is like, well, the main reason why she's going is because she wants to see if Deidre's gonna apologize. If Deidre doesn't apologize, then they have no more to talk about. And I mean, I agree. Just go there, see what she says. If it's not what you want to hear, leave. And that's exactly what Mushia did. Now we get to the last and final scene of the episode. Mushia meets up with Deidre, and she looked nice with her little wavy hair. And, of course, Deidre has something to say, like, oh, you must have a hot date tonight or whatever. And I'm like, shut up. So, they're discussing Boogaloo or whatever. And basically, Deidre is like, well, the stuff I was saying to you, I feel bad about saying it because, that, I said it because well, I don't know if I'm confusing arguments, but I do remember Deidre saying, like, oh, I purposely said stuff, like, hitting at your culture because I know that that's your culture. And I know Deidre was like, basically talking about Mushia being African and all this other craziness. But she was like, Deidre was like, I feel bad for saying what I said because I have friends who are from Africa and they're African. And Mushia was like, hold on, pause. You have friends that are African, but yet you fling insults at someone who's African. So Mushia was basically like, that's like a racist white person saying, oh, I have black friends. Like, it's like a backhanded apology. And I mean, I get where Mushia was coming from. I just wish Mushia would have just stayed quiet so she could hear Deidre out. But I mean, it seemed like that conversation wasn't going to go anywhere anyway because right after Mushia said that, they started going at it, arguing. Mushia called her an idiot. Deidre called her ignorant and stupid. And then she still was going on flinging insults at Mushia about being African. So Mushia didn't even stay around. Like, that conversation lasted all of like 2 minutes, it looked like. So Mushia didn't feel like sitting there going back and forth with her with the insults. So she got up and she left. Now, my whole thing is, how you come to a meeting with somebody you trying to apologize to, and what you're apologizing for, you're still doing. You can't say sorry about something that you're gonna continue doing. So you call a girl, you make fun of her for being African, but you're trying to apologize to her for making fun of her being African. I don't get it. It just gets on my last damn nerves, and then it look like what she gonna do next week is gonna piss me off even more, cause now it seems like you taking it like personal, like you making it personal now, and it doesn't even have to be. But anyway, that was the episode, Art of War. I done lost count of how many episodes it is, so I'm not even going to give you the number, but the title is The Art of War. I mean, overall, it was an okay episode, nothing special. I mean, Maya's scenes were, like, funny to me. But, yeah, I'll be here next week to vlog about it again. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Later.